let's take a look at how we can take our Figma design and load it into WordPress. All right, so I'm going to click over on my WordPress. I'm going to go to Pages. I'm going to add a new page. Summit Marketing Home. And I'm doing this on another website, but it's just easier right now to do this on a different website. I'll delete it once I'm done with this tutorial. Then I'm going to edit. So I've given the title. I clicked Publish twice, and now I'm going to click Edit with Elementor. First thing I'm going to do is go down to my settings in the bottom left. I am going to hide the title, so I don't want to see it there. I'm going to choose an Elementor full width because I'm going to have a full width photo that we're going to have in there. All right, now the first thing I want to do is to get my banner up there. So I clicked the plus sign. I'm going to select my structure here. Over here, I'm going to click on Image, and I am going to upload. And I have 3 photos I'm going to upload here that I had exported from. I had exported those from Figma, and if you notice, they are all smaller than 2 meg, which is what we need. Okay, so it's uploading these. We got 1. Come on, you can do it. And I also want you to notice that I have named them in an SEO-friendly way. So this one, the one that it's loading right now, is called Summit Marketing Computer Digital Advertising. So you notice that these are words that people might Google, and I want to have as much search engine optimization friendly words as possible. So name all photos with things that will work well. Now this is the photo I actually want to upload, so I click on it, and I'm going to click select in a moment. Okay, great. I'm going to click select now that all those pictures have uploaded, and here we go. And we do have to make it, well, actually before I do that, I'm not going to show you yet what we're going to do. I'm just going to go to the next process. So Figma, the next thing we want to do is we're going to have a row. Going to have a little bit of white space before the title. Okay, so I'm going to get another thing here, and I think I'm going to want this to be 2 columns because we have 2 columns here. And so in this column, I'm going to have an image. So I'm going to drag that over here. I'm going to put in the image, and here is that one. I've selected it. And over here, I am going to have 2 things. I'm going to have a heading, and I want to have text down here. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to bring back this menu that has all of the different things I can add, I'm going to click these dots up here, and I'm going to now bring in text editor, which is what we do for body copy. So I just had to drag it to where I want it. Now, on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. I pasted it here. If you ever find that it doesn't work for you to paste something in a container like this, in a section, you can always paste it over here as well. Okay, so I have a little bit there. Now, it doesn't look exactly like here yet, you notice. I'm going to have to do some more things to it for it to look like that. And so what I am going to do, one of the things I want to do is get the colors. I actually, since I'm doing this as an example, I don't have a style guide in here. And so if we notice that blue that I just grabbed, we're going to use that as the background of this container. And is it the whole thing? Sorry. Okay, it's not with the title, so it's actually going to be on the background of this one. So I'm going to go and 1 second. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go here. I'm wanting to and I'm going to go to the style and I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to go to background and I am going to put in my hex code there. And if I had my global color set up, I would have clicked here and it would have provided those global colors. Now that's not exactly right, because you see we're going to want this to be a little bit longer with some blue underneath it, and this we probably want to have a little bit smaller. So let me go ahead and edit this to make it smaller. So I'm going to go to style, I'm going to go to typography, and I am going to make this more like that. That's better. That is better. And I want to get that a little bit darker blue here, and I am going to make this that color. It didn't work. It's interesting that that didn't work. I'm going to go on because you know what, when I'm first building things, things happen that I don't want to happen all the time. So that is not something that surprises me too much. All right. Then the next thing I want to do is, if you notice, there is a button here. And so I'm going to add a button. And here's a button. I'm going to, when I see that dark, I can click that. And what do I want it to say? I want it to say View Projects. All right, so right now I can change that text by going here and say View Projects. I don't want it to be this color, so I can go to Style, and I can go to Background, and I can now make it the color I want it to be. Okay, we got that. And the background of that, we want it to have that same blue as up here. And so let me figure out the color of this again. With that background, what color did I make that? I'm going to just copy this color, so now I can go over here and make this background. Okay, now this isn't exactly how I'm going to want it, so we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. And so the type of thing that I would want to do would be, for instance, this shouldn't look, right now on WordPress it looks like two different boxes, but it should look like it's the same box. So I need to work within here to make it match up with this one. And actually what I'm going to do is work here, and let's undo margins and padding, and let us bring it up. Okay, so we've brought it up somewhat there. And then another thing that helps there, that now we don't have that space, and I can put a spacer down here that I can color to fill out the rest of it. So let me get a spacer, put it under there, and I can get it to be that same color, background. Oops. And similarly, I can make sure I have it selected, and I can make the spacer bigger. The other thing I can do is go to this one, and I can perhaps, let me try working with the padding and see if I can fix it there. No, that one's not going to work on this one, depending on what elements you have, and some things work better than others. So I am always testing to see what I can do. Okay, don't like how that worked, so if I can try this one, and let's see if I can bring this one up. Brought it up, but of course there it has now covered up my button, which I don't really like that it's done that. But you know what, I might also pop my button down, and then I don't have to worry about that. All right, so there I get that, and next I can work on placing where I want to have this. And so now I can move it up to where I want it. And right now it's left justified. Let's see if I make it centered. Now we're getting closer to what we have here. Now this one, this button is, right now it is square. But if I have clicked on here and I go to style, you can see we have border radius, and I have all of these linked, so it should make changes on all four sides. I can make it into more of a pill shape, which is what we had over here. All right, and I also noticed that there's a little bit more room around it than what I have here. So what I can do is I can increase the padding. So again, I have selected this button. I'm going to go to style, and I can increase the padding so that it is going to give me more room on each side. Right now I have these values linked together so that they're all changing at the same time. If for some reason I like the left and the right padding, but I wanted more top or bottom, I could unlink it, and I could get more padding on the top, and I could get more padding on the bottom by doing that. And that way, and there, let me hit the center alignment there again, and there, that does it. Now there's still things that I would want to do to make this look right. So for instance, this text, it's too close to the top of the box, so if I am going to click in here to edit, and I go to my advanced, again I'm going to click the padding, and let's see if I can just get the words. There we go, and let's give that a nice 40. So now that might be a little too much, so I might take it down to 30 again. So we're trying to dial it in and get it closer to what it looks like on this page. Let's see. Then what else would I like to do? So the custom strategies here, if we want to move this down a little bit, let's see if we can get the custom strategies. See which one is it going to let me use. I think I wasn't clicked on the right thing. So we're getting it closer here. Okay, so we're better there. Okay, good. And you know what? One thing I didn't do earlier is I didn't export this little bar, and it will be easier to export this and bring it in. than it would be to try to recreate it in Figma. All right, so let me go over here, and what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to put that, I'm going to click for a new image, I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to upload that little image, that little bar that I just did. I'm going to click select. All right, and we are up there now, so we're getting a little closer to it, and we just need to bring it down a little bit here. So let's take a look. And actually, I am going to all right, it's not going to let me do it with that, so let us do it here. And it doesn't, see, sometimes Elementor doesn't like you to do certain things, but there's always multiple ways we can get around it. If it doesn't want to move that one, let's see if it will let me move this one. This one, it's going to let me do something, oh, not a whole lot with though. Let's see. All right, now there we go. Okay, so now we're a little bit better there. Now, let's see, this picture's not exactly, it might not be exact, it's a little too big. So let's take a look here at making it, let's try to make it a bit smaller. And that's a little too small. Let's try this, which is kind of what it came in as. But you know what, also, if I don't like how it's looking with some of these presets, I can also come here and I can just drag it until it's the size that I do want. And actually, that I didn't drop it when I should have, okay? And I can also, and it's not wanting to do this, so let me make it, I'm going to turn it to medium, which is quite small here, but we can fix it by going into style and using width to decide how large we want it to be. All right, so now that's about right. And here I can play around a little bit till I get the proportions that I like, to see when I'm happy with it, when I'm not happy with it, and so it's just a bunch of little kind of picky work what you got to do here. So I want to make it just that little bit bigger perhaps, or if I make it a little bit smaller and then I bring, if I can bring, let's see if I can bring it down somewhat. I didn't want that there, so and again here I'm just kind of playing around with what I want, what I don't want to see here. And just bring that up that little bit more so it's with that bar, so it's closer up to the bar. Getting closer. So what you can just see, it's a bunch of little picky work at this point to refine to get it exactly how we want it. But we can keep working and get it how we want it. Let me just show real quick getting this into being a full-size photo that goes across full width. So we want to make sure that it's full. So if I've clicked here and I'm editing content that were full. Also, I'm going to want to make sure that it is maximum width. And I want to also edit the container here. I want it to be full width instead of boxed. and make sure that we have that there. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to padding and just give it a -1, and now it is a full width photo. One thing I haven't mentioned with the button, to link the button to another element, what we could do, like let's say for instance I wanted to link it to my Figma page. I'm going to copy my Figma address, and I can go down here. I'm going to delete that little hashtag number, put that there, and I can now have this is linked, so if I click on it when I'm on the site live, it will now take us to that Figma page. So that's something that we can do. Another thing with the button is right now this is what it looks like in the normal state. If we want to have a hover effect, so when somebody scrolls over it on the website, we can make it look different here. And so let me just first of all grab this color, copy that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the hover state, and I'm going to make the text color what the button color is. And the background I'm going to make more of a white. And here I do have some global colors for this other website. They're just not Summit marketing colors. Let me use that. Let's update. And so now it looks different when we hover over it. All right, hopefully you get an idea of some of the things that we do to get our pages looking more like we want them to look.